Let's start with the premise, folks, that we have a tax law today that consists of 17,000 pages of law and regulation that was changed more than 100 times just during the decade of the 1980s alone. We're talking about minor changes and major changes. In halfway through the decade of the 1990s, we are on track to duplicate that performance, folks. And so if there's any question in anybody's mind why you can't figure out what the tax law says, then all you need to do is look at the history of the changes. The pot has been stirred so many times we can't tell the difference between carrots and peas and meat anymore. So now the question is, with that background, what is the IRS doing and how are they doing it? And the report that Cato has produced, that I wrote for Cato, talks about 6 or 7 major areas of tax law administration and how the IRS performs in this environment. Never mind how the citizens perform in this environment, because let's start with the premise that we would think the agency that administers the tax law would have a little idea of what the law says. The conclusion of the report, however, is something quite different. It seems that folks, they have no clue, they have no idea what the 17,000 pages of law and regulation says or how it's to be interpreted, and the result of that is we have arbitrary and capricious interpretation activities and arbitrary and capricious enforcement, which cost the American people billions of dollars every year. Let me give you some examples. First and foremost, the IRS will mail in 1995 about 100 million notices and letters and other types of correspondence to the American people concerning one issue or another. About 40 million of those notices will be penalty notices, correction notices, some kind of demand notices, and the conclusion of the study is with respect to those notices, folks, they're wrong half the time. They're wrong half the time. When the IRS sends you a letter that says, "Dear taxpayer, you made a mistake on your tax return, but don't worry, we fixed it. Now you owe us $750, so just send in your check," those notices are wrong half the time.